Hey everybody, I hope everyone's having a great day. I had a bit of a technical issue right when I started up, but now everything seems to be fine, so let's get right to programming. Okay, so we're going to be working on Lua today for the most part. First we need to lock these Lua objects so that they can't be used at the wrong times. And then I need to... we're going to work on these mod loading improvements to give some mod authors some more, I guess, quality of life improvements. First, let's start here. So again, this issue is that, say, during the sort players, or I guess probably would be more relevant here. So during the ability move get actions, we would cache the actions variable and do something like actions equals actions. We don't need a semicolon. And then down here, let's just try to break the game. Well, it wouldn't work here actually. So we'll have to do it on the next turn. So yeah, let's do ability move here. Or ability move usable. So if actions does not equal nil, or wait, it goes like this in Lua, you need a little tilde. And I need to move the local variable up here so it will actually be part of this Lua function. Then we can just call, I don't know, his actions do move, and I think it will kind of break the game a little bit. But let's actually see what happens. So block position 0, 0, 0. Actually, I think the function is board position. So let's see what happens just for fun. So everything should go fine this first turn. It actually did have an error. Oh yeah, right here. Because it called the ability move usable at the beginning of the next turn, and it said it attempted to index a nil value. Well, that's not exactly what should have happened, but line 6, which is right here. I bet board position was new. Oh, it was nil. Board, that is the... that's the syntax, and the board position should be defined here, maybe... oh, that's because that's an uppercase A, it should be lowercase, okay. So yeah, cannot convert a number to a controller type. At line 6. Oh. Yeah, so that's yeah, that should always happen. Yeah, because we can't pass this the index, we have to pass the actual monster object. So don't I have a get? Okay, so I guess I should cache a monster here just for this. Yeah, as we can see. Oh well, no, I can call the there's a monster as part of the arguments. So you can see by all the hoops I'm having to jump through that why this is not a good idea, but okay, so I think nothing happened so far. Oh no, something did happen. Bad position set to move action. Oh, and that's because, again, everything starts with 1 in Lua. Which I just want to test this out. Okay, so no errors this time, but there should be like some junk move in the actions list, and I wonder if when I try to move, oh yeah, see now it thinks this monster is at position 111, so it can't move anywhere. And we can see now the game is kind of locked. I guess we can press escape to go back, but so that's what we don't want to happen. Well, basically, because the Lua script was trying to move the monster during this usable turn, which would desynchronize the games over the network, because we only want actions to be called during specific times, or actions to be applied, I should say. And the way, oh, I should leave this because we'll test this out. So we want to make it so that if we call this actions outside of the correct times, that it will throw a script error. So yeah, let's just start with the actions. The action logger here. I guess we should actually have it in this add action list. Yeah, this will be fine. That way we won't have to do this check in every different, every single, because we're gonna have other functions for like do, stat, change, and things like that, so we won't have to have this check in every single one, is what I was trying to say. Private tool, I guess we'll just call it active. And this should be a moon sharp hidden. Oh, well, no, this can't even be called from Lua, so we don't need to worry about that. So if active is false, then we'll throw new script runtime exception. This will be cannot execute action, or how should I word this? Invalid time to add an action. It's kind of strange wording, but it'll be fine for now. And so now I need to figure out when this action list is created, and that's, or when the action list should be callable. Is after, yeah, here. Okay, so database, Lua, object registry, action list, active is true. And then we set it to false here. I don't even know. We really don't need to keep adding and removing it from the global global space now. We might as well just insert all of the globals right here so we won't have to worry about changing them. Okay, and so now it should not be callable at times we don't want. What else can you do in action? Not only during the after turn effect. Oh yeah, selections to actions, that's what I was trying to find. And so again, we will just get rid of this set global. Okay, so let's try and play the game just how I had it before, and it should throw that exception. Okay, we did get one. Invalid time to add an action. Okay, so yeah, that worked fine. Okay, so let's get rid of this. Okay, so what's the next thing we need to test? Oh yeah, the indicators. Yeah, so that's disability get targets. Okay, and here we actually have this create ability target option function instead of a Lua interface object. So I think we will just go ahead and continue to set the globals here for now. I mean, I can always change it later. So all I need to do is just have a boolean here. So script executing, and then we just add it right here, and on post resume set it to false. And then down here we'll just say if script executing as false, then we'll throw new script runtime exception. I'll just use the same wording, invalid time to create ability target. Okay, we can test this out similarly. Local cache, and then I'll just right here, and then if I try to call it here, we'll have an exception. So we'll test this out now. Invalid time to create ability target. Oh, that's right. Alright, cool. Well, was that? Okay, yeah, it was create the selection actions. Okay. I was making sure that it wasn't calling the first time when it actually was supposed to create the indicators. Or, I mean, it wasn't throwing the exception the first time is what I meant to say. So there we go, we're done with that. Okay, so the asynchronous functions, this will be pretty easy. Maybe a way to already do this, we might not need to add anything else. And don't we have like the running tracker somewhere here? Oh yeah, we have this. That's not what I wanted actually. Maybe if I looked here is simpler. Okay, yeah, handling script, that's what I was looking for. So if handling script is null, then that should mean that this is a bad time to call these functions. I think so. Yeah, I set it to null here on finally, so that's okay. Yeah, there's a better way to do it than setting and removing these globals over time. But I think the best way to do it would... Yeah, we just need to set it right at the beginning. Which I guess I could do that. I'll go... Let's clean out some of this. So we can just add this global right here. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Okay, and then instead of removing these globals... Okay, so here's something we need to do. Sometimes the options might forbid certain requests, and if that's true, we need to take that into account when we check to see if some of the calls are valid or not. But I think the only one that we disable right now is the stat request, so I'll just comment this out kind of as a reminder. Here, if handling script equals null, throw new script runtime exception. Oops. Come on, cursor. Invalid time to call function. Yeah, we don't need anything for this wait frame. Then here we have to check if it equals null or handling script options and forbid stat request does not equal 0. And this is just a fancy way of saying, was this flag set in the options variable? You have to use what's called a bitwise operator. So if this was set, then that means that the stat request should be forbidden, and then we throw this exception. Okay. I guess I should test it out. Let's call... So where... Thing is, these functions are pretty much available at all times. I guess here you can't ask for a stat. So let's just call request stat. What's the other argument? Okay, this is a string. Okay, so that should throw an error because the stat requests are not valid during ability usable calls. Okay, yeah, there we go. Invalid time to call function, that's fine. Okay, well, let's ability scripts line 4. Okay. So I think the only time that a script does not have asynchronous functions enabled is during the... Oh, well, load doesn't have it. Oh, but it'd be null at that point, so... The cheat detector doesn't have asynchronous. But this will never fire unless we boot up the second player, so I'm... Well, if we have problems, I'll find them. I want to move on to something else. Okay, map generation is the last one we need to do. I guess I should look through all Lua callers and see if there's any other ones that add any special functions. But these aren't function callers. Nothing there. Okay. All good. Okay, so we just have the map generation code to work with. And I think all I need to do, we can remove the global here because this field generation should not really be in the global namespace after we load the game. So what we'll need to do basically is just have this object registry. Okay, yeah, this board generation object. I guess we need to cache it here. Let's just call it Lua board gen. I could also put it in the field builder itself. I don't think it really makes much difference. So private school active. This could be Moontrap hidden. Okay, and so if active is false, script runtime exception, wrong time to call map generation. And we'll do the same thing here. And I think these are the only two functions that would matter. I guess here as well. Because I think this builder would be a bad reference. I'll do this. I'm just trying to think, maybe we should have like a dispose function that would release these objects in case the Lua class keeps a handle on it. But I mean, that'd be bad on the Lua author, and it's not like it could actually do any harm besides being a slight memory leak, but... Okay, so what we do is call Lua origin active, true, and then we'll set it to false here. Oh, spelled that. Okay, so now to test this, we need to go into the map generation function, and then we'll have a global. Let's say my field gen equals field gen, and now we'll be able to access it here. So might as well just do it during these usable functions because they're called right at the beginning. My field gen set dimensions. Oops. Okay, yeah, and then this got called, wrong time to call map generation. Okay. Cool, so we're done with everything. And that's just, again, all that code is to prevent mod authors from, I don't know, trying to be hacky or mess up the code by accident. So it looks like we're done with that. So now we're going to work on these mod loading improvements. So first, what I want to do is, right now it's a little awkward to register these functions to the game. You have to make sure that the name here is exactly the same as the name here. And so if you had to change one or the other, there would be an error during load time. Also, we have to have this prefix at the beginning because these functions are all stored in the global namespace. So if another mod comes by and has a name, like if we just named this function ability move usable, there might be another mod that would come by and overwrite the function, which could cause some problems. So what I'm going to do instead is have some kind of code like this. I don't know, events, ability usable, add, and then we'll have the ability name, which should be move, and then the actual function, something like that. And then we'll need to hit the C to close that. So now we'll register this function in through this object, and now table of contents will also be able to remove these these lines here. So unfortunately for abilities, we have to make sure that this move still matches up with this name here. But the good thing is that's only one string instead of having to match up strings for each function name. And again, it also moves them out of the global namespace. So I think it will be much better overall. It would also allow you to change the functions that are registered at runtime. I wonder if there really would be any reason to do that. It could cause some problems. So I don't know. But regardless, I guess I'll have the ability to change the callbacks at any time, but we might not really allow it. Okay, so instead of, I don't really know if I want to call it events, because some of these aren't events. Like, that's actually a query right there. Let's call it hooks, maybe? I don't know. I guess we could do something like func registry. That's probably the best idea. Yeah, it should be public. So, how do I want to do this? Basically, we're going to need a bunch of, I think for every function I want to, like just for ease of use, I want to have an object that I can pass to the Lua interface object. So we'll have, let's just start simple, I guess. So basically there's three things, either like for these ability usable it should be only one script for, but it has this argument at the beginning. And for the after turn effects, I guess it will probably be the same thing. We'll probably need to have after turn effect names now, which is not really that big of a deal. We can add that easily. And then for sort players, it's no argument and only one function is allowed. And then for onload and on new turn, you can have several functions. So, okay, and stat sheet detector is one per stat. So basically, we'll need three types of registry objects. One single untagged function, for example, player sorter, and then one single tagged function. This will be for ability scripts and stat validators, and then any number of untagged functions, and this is for a new turn or on load. Okay, so let's just, these will be all simple classes, so I think I'll just add them here. Registry single untagged. Let's just start with this because it's the simplest. And then this function registry, for example, would have, I guess, public Lua function registry single untagged, and this would be player sort. And then when we called this, I guess we need to have a reference to the closure here. I'm not sure if I want to put this behind, I could make this a private variable or not. I don't know if that would really help anything in this case. And then Lua function register single tagged. So this would have a dictionary of tag to function. Or actually it would be, that's a good question. So do we want to have a dictionary string to closure? I'd say no. We actually want to have integer. That's how it's stored in the game data right now. Right here we got stat names. Oh yeah, I guess they're in the actual ability class. And then abilities, of course, are lists, so it's indexed by the ability ID. The only problem with this is that at this point this registry doesn't know the index for every ability. So I guess that makes this obvious that this should actually, like this code should not be used during load time. So we might not even need all these separate objects, because all this stuff will be created basically in the asset organizer. So I'm glad I thought of that before I wrote everything out. So this, let's just call, well I guess we can do the same thing. Excuse me, the loading phase. This is actually, yeah, we actually don't really need to change the way that the game data is stored at all. Yeah, so just during the asset organizer will deposit all the functions that we create for this thing into the places that they're in the game data right now. So I guess that answers that question, that you won't be able to change these functions during runtime, but like I said, I don't really know any reason why you'd need to, so I'm not too sad about that. So we'll delete it. This class here. So now this is, since this is during loading, this will just be a string, so it'll be the ability name or whatever, stat name. And then for the final class, function registry, this will be list. Okay. So I guess the next step is, how does the Lua interface get a hold of this object? I guess we'll just pass this the function registry. Yeah, that should be fine. We'll need a reference to it, of course. Okay, so it's the way I have it here is we have the ability usable add, but I guess we could just as easily have a just one function that says add ability usable. That way I won't have to have different objects for everyone. So here we have the ability name and closure function. Oh, and I almost forgot. I need to type Moonsharp hidden here so that Moonsharp can't call the constructor. Same with the default. So this would just be, I might not even need these classes after all. Let's have a dictionary. Ability usable. Okay, so one good thing about this is it is kind of simple, but if I ever need to add another function type here, I'd have to come in and add it manually. That's kind of, I was hoping that I might not need to do that by using these classes here, but I don't know if it really makes much difference. Let's just see. So function, registry, single, tagged. And this would be I guess this registry is fine. So if we did it like this, we would just need this one function and we could easily expand this for any Lua function that has the same pattern. So it'll just be add string name closure function. And so now if string is null or empty, we would throw new runtime exception empty name. Also, if function is null, throw new script. So null function. And then if string, oh not string, if registry funcs contains key name. I guess we should, again we'll do to upper. Try and make this case insensitive. So if it contains the tag, then we'll want to throw an exception here. Function registration overwriting previous registration. Okay, and then if it gets past all that, then we can just type, oh I forgot to have void up here, that's what that error was about. Registry functions tag equals function. And now all we have to do is just create an object for ability. Registry single tagged, ability usable. Don't need a set there at all. And then ability usable equals new registry except that is a dictionary right now. So I think we will go with using these objects because it will help me, like for the next ability. Oh, this is not liking this. Oh, I need to get rid of that Lua in the front. Okay, so now here we'll go back to the syntax. And now for the ability move targets, we'll have function registry, ability get targets, add for move. Like that, and now I won't need to write a whole bunch of code in here. I can just create another of these objects. So ability get targets. No, it should be public. I haven't created this yet. And now public. Same thing, I'll just copy and paste this because IntelliSense is not on my side tonight, seems like. I'll go ahead and delete that just because I know it's not implemented yet. Or did I spell it wrong? Okay, so let's go ahead and just walk this through all the way to make sure it will work just fine. So first thing I need to do is I need to create this little function registry at some point. Ability get targets equals new. And then when this is loaded at the mod load manager. So I'll leave all the code having to do with this Lua function for now. It'll be deleted soon, but I want to kind of have a melding of the two systems while I'm testing. So here, when is the Lua, the script environment created? Oh, right here. So we do it here. So final assets, Lua environment, set global function registry, is that what I called it? Oh, func registry, okay. And I also I need to be able to set this object active and not private rule active. I'm glad I thought of this now because I need to change the way some of this works. I'm going to need to pass myself to these child objects because they're going to need to see its active status. Okay, so function registry. I don't know what I want to call that variable. Registry is a bit confusing, but okay, so if parent active is false. And again, we'll throw new script. Runtime exception. Cannot register function at this time. Okay, so now that's all taken care of. So I need to create the function registry. I guess I should add it here. So right now I have this dictionary, which we'll get rid of. So private. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. I actually want this final assets object is what I was looking for. So function registry. Let's create it at this point. Now this will need the Lua interface function registry because we'll need to be able to set this as inactive when we're done. Registry is new, and we just need to pass the final assets Lua functions to it. Well, I guess it can just stay active from now until everything's done. It's not like we need to keep turning it on and off. Okay, what does it need now? Else? Oh, that's the wrong thing. Lua function registry is what I called it, I guess. Glad I can get rid of the old code because it's confusing me. Okay, so then at this point we can set it to active. And we'll set it to inactive when everything is done. Which I think we actually see here. Yeah, loading complete. So we have the store Lua functions, we can delete that later, but Lua function registry active is false, and we'll go ahead and set it to null here because we don't need a reference to it anymore. Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, no, that's not updated already. Oh right, I haven't done the asset organization yet. So here, I guess I really don't need to test the game until I've converted the whole system, because in the play scene it's going to act exactly the same, because this asset organizer is just going to take the new function loader and deposit all the functions in the same place they are now. So that'll be easy. I don't even need this get function anymore, I don't think. So we might as well just do it all at once. Okay, so let's see, all the functions. Yeah, this is what I was looking for. We need the ability. So we have usable get targets and selection to actions. it's all there. Oh, I still have this class. It's long gone. So I have this after turn effect. It works a little differently in the new system because it'll also need a name. Sorry, something came up. So yeah, we'll need after turn effect function, and just one per after turn effect. And that'll also be a tagged, because again there should be one and only one function for each. So after turn effect. I guess it's fine. Block prototype doesn't need anything. Map blueprint just needs the map generation function. Do we store that in the game data? Where is that stored actually? Oh, right here. So yeah, I guess we will need it. This will be our first single untagged, which is just one function for the whole game. Okay, got that done. I guess I should also go around and delete these once we've got it. Nothing here. Statistic. Nope. Okay, the stat cheat detector function is actually not per stat. I guess I could make it per stat now. Easily, because I won't need to have a list of... Like, I won't need to have it stored in the table of contents. Got this done. This is the player sort function, onload, on your turn, and stat sheet detector. Okay, so sort players. And then we'll have the first list here. Onload. And last but not least is the stat validator, which I guess since we can, might as well make it per stat. Well, I don't know if I want to do that now because we'll have to change the way a lot of things work. Well, I guess it won't really be that difficult, will it? Okay, so now we got all that done with. So on table of contents I can delete all this. Okay, so let's go here, and we'll need to create a bunch of these now. Can I pull this out? Okay, now I Oh, it's not gonna let me do that. I'll just pull this over to the other screen. So we need one for an after turn effects. Okay, now I don't have the one for a single untagged. So let's copy this and just create that real quick. Of course it won't be that difficult because it's even simpler than this. Okay, so here there's no name. So don't have to worry about that anymore, or this. I simply just set the function. Okay, and while we're working on it, might as well add the list. Okay, and how this works, it's basically the same except we just add it to the end of this list. I guess we should check to make sure it's on a duplicate. I'm not even sure if this will actually work with Moonsharp, but hopefully it will. Okay, so now back up here, function, oops, not public, oh come on, registry, single untagged, and it's map generation, and then the same thing, but for sort players. Now function registry list on load. On return and oops sorry. On newt earn, it seems like. And then the stat validator. So now I need to create all those here. Oops, ability, selection to actions. Okay, so yeah, we're a little bit of busy work here. But you can see by using these objects I've made things a lot simpler. Otherwise we'd have to be creating a separate function for each of these. Couple more. Okay, and that's I think all I have to do. Oh, I need to create the accessors. And I'll just delete all the sets. For some reason it made that internal, which I'm going to need to fix because I don't think Lua can call internal functions. guess the reason it's doing that is because these aren't public. I'm surprised it wasn't giving me errors before. Okay, so now I should update everything here. So function, registry, map, I think that's right. I need to add parentheses down here. Oops, I forgot what these abilities were. So fireball and punch. The other ones, we can just add dummy functions. Let's return true. Okay, same thing here. Okay, so it's ability selections to actions. Add move. I think I didn't spell it out there, but I'll go ahead. Okay, and this will be after turn effect handler. This is called after turn effect, actually. Generation, sort players, onload on new turn, stat validator, okay. I think it might be time to separate these into different files, but let me get this done with. Okay, so function, registry, after turn effect. This will be, let's call it test dummy, which basically means it does nothing in programming speak. This is test move. And then just here I need to add a couple more. Okay, sort players. It's just the function. Unload. And finally the last one. Oh, I still got the stat validator actually. So here, I wonder, should I have Because they might have a special value that if you just give it a default. I think to do that I need to have another function here, which I guess is fine. So this will just be stat validator default. So if you just want to have the same thing, or for any stat that you don't have a specific one, it'll just use this function. Oh, come on. And I'm gonna say create field. Didn't create it for me over here. And finally, let's just create the accessor for it. I think it might be a little more intuitive if I have it named default stat validator. And then let's just test adding a separate one for speed, or I guess health. This health can maybe go up to 100. I need to take away the default. Okay. So here in the mod load manager I can delete that old function code, which a lot of the stuff has broken already. Get rid of all these comments because, yeah, we know this new system works perfect. So now we don't really even need to have anything here for these functions. Yeah, the asset organizer instead will throw errors if the mods don't load specific functions. So, I'm not sure, I guess, no, we need to have the after turn effect name now, but I'm not sure where we'll store that. I guess we don't really need to do anything here. Yeah, abilities don't have functions to load anymore. Here, and nothing here. Okay, so this error. Okay, yeah, then this function is not needed. Okay, so I think now we're ready to go to the asset organizer and start. Maybe we'll still have this get function and it will throw an error if there's no function there. But I guess we should change the way this works because we don't really need the mod file anymore. Instead it'd be something out of the Lua function registry. So let's make it, let's just do the untagged first. Alright, let's close everything. There's too many things open up there. Okay, so basically it's just gonna see if there is any function in here, and if not, it'll say no function. Okay, so I guess we will need a string bug name. Okay, and I can get rid of this dictionary. Really all I have to do here is if the function registry is null, or does not equal null, we'll return the function registry function, so that's really simple. Otherwise we'll throw no function found named, oh no such function registered to. Okay, and we'll also want to have these for the other types of function storage. This will actually need the tag. I guess we will need the try get pattern here. And summon lad, thanks for stopping by. Unfortunately, I don't think I can show you because the game isn't compilable at this point. We're in the middle of implementing some new loading scripts. Uh-oh. Am I crashing? Okay. Yeah, sorry, Insomnia Lad. Well, it's still pretty early in development, but we'll be there. I'm sure. Hopefully, you can stop by some other time and see it. Actually, I'm not sure if anybody can hear me now because I think my computer is seizing up. But it is about time to stop the stream regardless, so sorry to leave on this cliffhanger. But anyway, you can still hear me. Thanks everyone for stopping by and watching. I'll be back tomorrow around 8:30 Eastern and we'll continue from where we left off. And I've got to reset my computer. Alright, I'll see everybody later. Thanks again. Bye-bye.